Alright, it looks like it's done coding for us. Let's see what it looks like in game. Okay, let's see if this works. Oh my god! This is the greatest mod ever. The rest of the world needs to know this. I have to make a YouTube video on this. Okay, so I've spent the last 5 hours editing. Let's see how my video looks so far. What's up guys? In today's video, I'm going to show you, that's right, you, the best Minecraft mod to ever exist. But before we get started with the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more epic mod showcases. Yeah, I can't believe it took me 5 hours to make this edit. We're going to need a way to edit this faster. That's right. My goal for this video is to build an AI tool that can edit my videos for me instead of me having to do everything by hand. If you're not super familiar with how video editors work, here's a quick recap of how they're structured. We have a basic video editor here. You have the timeline where you actually make the edits. You have the media box where you can upload your images and media to the timeline. And you have the preview where you can actually watch the video as you're making edits. But here's what I'm gonna add. We can add this box on the side that has a chatbot agent that you can talk to and then make it do all of the editing for you. Thank you, I know. I'm really ahead of my time. Alright, so the first thing we need to do in our development process is to choose a video editor to use that we can code our AI agent into. The problem is that I won't be able to choose one of the major video editors. Right now, I can use all of these editors, but I can't actually change or even look at any of the code behind them. This means that I won't be able to add my AI tool to one of these editors. And this is all because all of them are entirely closed source. I know, so this makes things a lot more complicated. So what we need to do instead is to find a basic video editor that's open source that we can actually use to make changes to it. So yeah, let's get searching.
Approximately 6 or 7 minutes of searching later.
Alright, so I found this editor and it looks pretty cool. The only thing is that it's web-based, and I have no idea how a website can be strong enough to handle a video editor. But let's check it out. Alright, I think this is pretty good. I've used it for a while, and it definitely has some flaws, but for the most part, this is good enough. We don't really want to reinvent the wheel here and just spend tons of our time making an editor. We want to focus on the agent part. Yeah, this was one of the only repos that I found where it was actually still being maintained, and the last update was literally made like a few days ago. So yeah, okay, this is good. Alright, so we got the editor running locally now, and we can make some basic changes to it. So now we need to add the window where we can actually talk to one of these AI chatbots. So I'm thinking that we want the chat box to be like right here. So we're just going to move the inspector to be under this assets section. I also feel like that just makes sense for general UI design. So now that we have an idea of roughly what we want this to look like, let's go back to Cursor so we can code it. So here I'm going to tell Cursor to add this new window, shift the other one over, and hook it all up for me. And this is where it feels very crazy, because if you've never seen AI agents in practice, this saves programmers a ton of time on the boring and most slowest parts of development. And this is why Cursor and AI agents in general are so great. You can just describe the change you want, and it's much faster to go from an idea to a working result. And then focus more on whether the result is actually good. And I'm trying to bring this exact same experience to video editing. And yeah, it's done generating now. So let's take a look at what it made. I did have to fix it up some, but I think that it's going pretty good now. Made this chat window here where we can type and talk to ChatGPT, and right now we need to figure out how we can actually give ChatGPT the ability to edit our timeline for us. In this process, we need to make something called an AI agent. And now for those of you who don't know what an AI agent is, it's basically an agent that uses AI. So yeah, I guess you learn something new every day. I'm just kidding. It's actually kind of important for you to know a little bit about how this works, so I'll explain it quick. To get a better understanding of how AI agents work, let's take a look at one of the most popular AI agents that people use right now, Cursor. Cursor is an AI agent that helps you program by writing code alongside you as you're working to generate sections of code. And the way it actually does this is by using LLMs like ChatGPT to do things behind the scenes. So Cursor, the AI agent, basically gives ChatGPT the ability to edit files, run commands, and take many other actions to help you program. As you can imagine, this is really powerful, and we're aiming to do something similar here. But instead of generating lines of code, we want to make an AI agent that will generate video edits for us. So Cursor is a really good example to look at. Before we start working on our own AI agent, let's break down how these AI agents actually work. The way agents work is in 3 main steps. The first is that it tries to understand the goal based on the input you give it. In Cursor's case, this is the prompt that you type and all of your files. It then tries to take an action, which in Cursor's case is generating code. Finally, it checks if the results are good by comparing what it made compared to what your original goal was. And if it's not good, then it goes back to step 2. If it is good, then it's done. So what we need to do is work on step 1. In Cursor's case, step 1 was really easy. Getting an AI to look at and understand your code base is relatively simple, since most of the files that you want it to look at are just text. And that's all that LLMs like ChatGPT do anyway. They just take text as input and output more text. But in our case, the input we want to use is text and videos, which makes this a lot more complicated. So we're going to have to figure out some way to convert all of this stuff in our timeline to text. So what I'm going to do first is just look at this code base and understand exactly how this editor is storing the edits that we make in the timeline. So I found this file, and it looks like the video edits are actually stored in these objects, which have all of the data that we need for our AI agent to understand what's going on in our editor. The fact that these timeline objects exist is really great, since I can really easily just convert these objects into text and feed them to the AI agent so that it can see what's going on inside the timeline. So let's give it the ability to read these objects. Alright, I just added the ability for it to read these objects, so now let's see if it works. Okay, so I made this really short edit that we can use to test if it works, and hopefully it can tell us what's going on in this timeline. So I'm going to show you guys the video that I made so that you can see what I'll be giving the AI to look at. I know, it's really stupid, but hopefully this makes sense to you, because I'm not gonna lie, I barely understand what's going on in this edit that I made. But that's not why this is important. The main thing is that we want to see if the AI can actually read and look at what's in this timeline. And hopefully, if it's working properly, it'll tell us that it sees the clips and the length of the clips and what tracks there are. So now I'm gonna prompt ChatGPT to ask it if it can see what's in our timeline, or if it can even see anything at all. So let's see if it works. Sweet. We can see that it gave us a little table here with the rough structure of what's going on in the timeline, and we can see that it lists out each of the tracks, the types of tracks that each one is, the clips that are in each track, and the length of each of the clips, which is exactly what we wanted. So now we know the AI can successfully read what's going on in the timeline by letting it view the timeline objects. And now we're done with step 1. Now we need to actually give our AI agent the ability to make its own edits. This step is actually the most tricky, since the timeline itself is extremely complicated. The timeline is made up of things like markers, captions, keyframes, transitions, layers, and even more. And each of these things do completely different things and all have very strict rules on how they work. So the LLM needs to be able to make changes to all of these things, make edits that actually make sense, and not break anything. My initial thought to get this working was just to have ChatGPT print out the objects directly. And although this works for some minor changes, for anything slightly complicated, this system breaks down really fast. The first problem is that these objects that store the data are massive, and they're too much for ChatGPT's context window, so it can start giving us inconsistent results. The second problem is that it can make changes to the objects in ways that the object might not be able to accept, and we can't allow that. So we need to come up with a way where the agent can just do these actions like cutting, zooming, adding effects, and other stuff without making changes directly to these giant objects. And we can do this by making something called an API for our editor. Right now, if you wanted to make some edits, you'd use some of the buttons on the website to take these actions, but our AI agent isn't able to interact with these buttons. So the API lets our AI agent have the same control over our editor just like a person, since our AI agent can't interact with these buttons. So here's the code I added, and now because of this API, the AI can just call one of these functions, and that function updates the timeline right away. So now with this API, our agent is able to make these edits by using these functions like cut and zoom, instead of trying to make edits to this gigantic object. So now we're done with step 2, and now we need to have the agent look at the changes it made afterwards to see if they actually look good. This part isn't going to be too crazy to implement. We basically just force the agent to do a final pass through over everything after it thinks that it's done. So now it's time to... So here's just a brief excerpt of some of what I added, but basically this and some of the functions that are further down, after every step that the AI agent takes, this checks if the needed changes showed up and if they're in the right place with the right settings. And there you have it. Our AI agent is complete. Let's try giving it some video and audio clips and see what it can do now. So I'm going to upload a couple of these raw clips. We have some backgrounds of different sites. We have the Egyptian pyramids, the Great Wall of China, just like a bunch of like random different backgrounds. We have a clip of a rat dancing with like a green screen. It's kind of a dumb meme. It's kind of like died, but if you know about it, you know about it. And then we have some background music as well. So what I'm going to tell it to do is to make an edit of this, and hopefully at the end of this, it'll give us a silly edit of the rat dancing across the screen, across all of the different backgrounds, while the music plays in the back. Also, I'm telling it to add a brief delay at the very beginning before the music starts. I just want to see if it can do this. So yeah, let's see how it turns out. Alright, it's finished running, so let's take a look at the final result. So yeah, that's really cool. The video isn't anything too crazy yet, but just the fact that it's able to do this and do some actual basic edits is really cool. You can even see here that it added some comments and added some new tracks. It added some keyframes to the rat video, and it's even moving it across the screen. It added a green screen effect to remove the green background, so now on the video we don't see the giant green background behind the rat. It clipped all the backgrounds to the same length, and it even added a marker for where the music starts. So I think that this project turned out to be pretty cool. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure you leave a like. If you want to see more of these type of videos, make sure to subscribe. Try to hit my subscriber goal of 1 million subscribers by tomorrow. We're almost there, guys, so make sure to like and subscribe. We're only a couple subs off, so if you could like and sub, that'd be really cool. Thanks for watching.